What's up, guys? Valence Ring here, bringing you a very important video that is bound to stir up a bunch of controversy. As you may have seen from the title, what are the 5 best heroes of puzzles and survival? Now, obviously, this could be argued, and of course, this is my opinion based upon, well, I'll explain as I go. Let's dive right in. I know everyone cares about heroes. Which ones are the best? There are so many heroes. Now, just to clarify, obviously, I'm not going to be discussing 2-star, 3-star, 4-star heroes, not because they're not important, not because you shouldn't have them, not because you don't need to level them up, but because realistically, in the long run, they're going to sit in your bag and just sit there and look pretty. So, definitely get them, definitely level them up. But what I want to talk about are the 5-star heroes and what are the best 5-star heroes. So, starting at the bottom of the list, we're going to go with the 5th best hero overall in puzzles and survival. Now, some of these may come as shock to you, but this one is Mars, coming in at the 5th spot. So, why did I pick Mars as the top 5 hero? And this is, again, very debatable. It was a toss-up between Mars and Obsidian. I did want to pick one hero of each color, not because you have to, but because I do think that each color has one of the strongest heroes per hero type. Now, Mars is probably one of the most underrated heroes. You don't get a lot of talk about him, and that might surprise you that he made my list. The main reason that Mars made the list is because he is underrated and his hero skills are absolutely legit. He is exceptionally useful in arena attacking, arena defense, as well as multiple ultimate challenge phases, as well as special operations and alliance trials. His usefulness alone, while many are not used to it or used to using him on a regular basis, his usefulness is so high that he has to be one of the best heroes in puzzles and survival. So, quickly going over why that is, or what it exactly does, is his skill deals 528% damage to the target. That is a lot of damage. When he lands a hit, it hits hard, doing 528% at, this is 6 plus 6 red star, but 2,790 attack. 528% of that lands, he's going to do that much extra damage to the target. And he depletes 25% of the target's rage. Yes, there are other heroes that reduce rage, but not necessarily that hit as hard as he does. And that is definitely adding to why he is such a powerful hero and one of the top 5. He also has the enhanced active skill, increases the caster's and adjacent allies' heal rate received by 20% for 5 rounds. This makes him an effective tank when you put him in between 2 other strong heroes. And that also is one of his other skills, Slipstream, which increases the caster's and adjacent allies' attack by 35%. So he increases the heal rate and the attack of him and the 2 heroes next to him for 5 rounds. This can be a devastating blow if you don't know how to fight him as a defender, and it can be excellent as an attacker. So his troop skills are also very useful because it is troop-based, and while troop-based skills don't give you the quick effects that, say, a rider-based hero does that only boost riders, the end game is that you do want troop boosts higher if possible. And of course, that's my opinion. But at any rate, this is why Mars is the top 5. His good troop skills, versatile in a lot of different situations. He's useful for a lot of special events. And one other thing is he is fairly easy to get and easy to get early on, and he is useful early on. Some heroes you'll find aren't very useful early on. Mars is useful throughout the game. One of the more underrated heroes that you will find, and you'll find his usefulness grows the more you use him. So let's move on to number 4, and we're going to go with a red hero, and of course, as you could guess, yep, it's McCarty. Wait, you were expecting someone else, weren't you? You totally thought I was going to say Phoenix, didn't you? Aha. Well, I'll get into that in a second. McCarty hits number 4 spot in my rankings for the best heroes of puzzles and survival. Now let me explain why. First of all, he has some amazing hero skills. He does not hit that hard, but he does hit fairly hard, and he does add poison damage to all foes for 6 rounds. Damage over time is very useful skill in Arena, Ultimate Challenge, and a lot of other events. So again, I'm looking at the usefulness of the hero, and you can also see that his enhanced active skill increases allies' attack by 34% for 6 rounds. So he boosts everyone's attack. He makes everyone hit harder. And that is one of the reasons why, even though he doesn't hit that hard himself, by boosting everyone's attack, he makes the entire lineup that much stronger. And then, of course, he does have a farewell gift, which he explodes upon death, dealing 140% damage to all foes. Now, that's not a super useful skill because I want to keep all my heroes alive, but when he does die, he gives that last little gift that can really help turn a battle one way or the other. And of course, his red star skill, which is to increase crit rate by 30%, is super useful. Now, why did I pick McCarty over Phoenix? There are 2 main reasons. One of the main reasons is because he increases the attack of all allies. So if you have a bunch of strong allies, including Phoenix, in a lineup, and you use McCarty, then everyone is going to benefit. Phoenix does not benefit everyone like McCarty does. That also being said, his troop skills are really what wins this out. Because he reduces the cost of training, stamina, and training speed, he is exceptionally useful as an economy type hero to boost some of the most important factors for your sanctuary. Training costs down and training speed up are going to drastically affect how you train troops, and this is especially important later in game. With the stamina cost down, this means you are going to be able to do more layers more frequently and level your heroes up more easily. McCarty helps all heroes. That is why he made the top list, and Phoenix, unfortunately, who is a great hero, did not. But he is also easier to obtain. He is easy to obtain early on. As soon as you have headquarters level 16, you can start working towards getting McCarty, and he is one of the easiest heroes to get up to a high level early on if you focus on him through the Ruins Challenge. So, using Rare Earth, not the Ruins Challenge, excuse me, the Rare Earth Pit, by using Rare Earth, you can advance McCarty fairly quickly, and he is going to benefit you in the long run, and he is very similar to Phoenix. While Phoenix is stronger, she is much harder to obtain, she is much harder to level up, and she is only really useful from a troop perspective if you are shooter based. While she is my favorite hero, she unfortunately did not make the list. So let's move on to the number 3 spot. Number 3 coming in is the gold hero, Mantis. Now, Mantis could arguably fit in anywhere on this list from the number 1 spot to the number 5 spot. Definitely has to be in the top 5. I have Mantis at the number 3 spot, mostly again because of the hero skills. Dealing 300% damage to the target and adjacent foes while depleting 25% of their rage. As you can see, doesn't hit quite as hard as Mars, but it targets up to 3 enemies. That is huge. And as we know, rage killers or rage stealers are so beneficial in so many situations for arena, ultimate challenge, and campaign. Mantis, again, can be an underrated hero. I was not a big fan of Mantis in the beginning of the game, but the longer you've played, the more you will realize how important Mantis is, and that is why Mantis is in the number 3 spot for one of the best heroes of puzzles and survival. Another big factor here is that not only does Mantis hit multiple heroes and steals their rage, he also dispels all allies' debuffs and all foes' buffs. He resets the field and basically says, nope, we're going to play fair. And then he steals some of their rage and does a bunch of damage. He is also immune to stun and paralyze. This is important because some heroes do cause stun and paralyze, and Mantis is unaffected by that. Once Mantis does die, which is the other benefit, the rebirth at the start of the battle grants all wary-style allies Mantis protection effect that has a 50% chance to revive them upon death with 10% hit points. This basically means that any gold hero has a chance to come back to life with 10% hit points. Once Mantis does come back to life, then he can be stunned and paralyzed. But that's pretty minor because basically if he's dying off, then you might be in dire straits anyways. But if you have a healer that can quickly heal him back up and keep him going, then he will be able to be stunned or paralyzed. In addition, the reason he made the list is because of, again, some really strong economy skills. Now, while these skills aren't necessarily the most effective for everybody early on, they definitely become important later in the game. And if you can get them up early enough, then some of these will definitely benefit you, especially that upkeep down. The upkeep down later on when you have millions and millions of troops isn't necessarily that big of a benefit, but it is a percentage, so it can still help save some resources. Infirmary healing speed and the infirmary cap up are probably two of the most important ones, especially for players that play in events such as Wasteland War. So this is one of the only events where you actually take serious casualties, but making sure that you have enough infirmary space to handle those casualties is greatly going to improve your gameplay. So again, another economy style hero making the list because of excellent boosts, but the hero skills are absolutely massive. The only downside to Mantis is the extreme difficulty in obtaining them. I will say this, the predominant way is through Joy Coin and Perfect Frags. Perfect Frags can be used on a lot of heroes, and I recommend on the ones that are harder to get, like Lee and or Mantis. At any rate, or Lavina, if you're don't participate in Reservoir War. But Joy Coin does drop. If you get to 100%, you are guaranteed 10 frags minimum of either Mantis, Shaiho, Agent X, or Tomio. And you get to pick which hero you decide to level up. So I recommend once you have all of them unlocked, start working on Mantis, getting him up as high as you can. You will find Mantis's usefulness increase over time, and the stronger he gets, the much more beneficial he is. Let's move on to the number 2 spot. Number 2 spot with a lot of heroes to choose from was a tough call, but I have to admit I debated very difficulty on even putting this hero in the list, so it might be surprising that she topped out at number 2, but that is Fox. I had to put her on the list despite almost not wanting to, and the reason being is because she is absolutely one of the most useful heroes you are going to find in game. I have had Fox in almost every lineup where it is possible to have her since the beginning of the game all the way through till the end. It is that usefulness that she is number 2 on this list. So Fox coming in at number 2 of the best heroes of puzzles and survival. Of course, let's look at her hero skills. She is a healer, and probably one of the most important healers you're going to use until you have a red star Lady M, and even then I still use Fox predominantly. She works really well with the way that I play the game. Now your experience may be different, and maybe you could swap out Lady M for Fox, but she restores 44% of all allies' hit points. She also has a pretty decent rage fill, and this makes her extremely useful even as a tank, even when a healer might normally be considered a backline hero. But she is one of the best healers in the game. She also increases allies' defense by 63%, which makes everyone harder to kill, and she dispels all allies' debuffs, again, which makes them harder to kill. She also has a chance to stun the target for 2 rounds upon death, which, again, if she's dying, you probably have bigger problems. But if you're getting down to the nitty-gritty and it's only one enemy left, then this can be a huge help. And she has a critical resistance once she gets up to red star of 30% increased. So that's good to help prevent her from taking critical hits, which is good for a healer because she's going to take damage. You don't want her to take more damage. Her troop skills are rider based, and that's probably the only thing I don't like about Fox, simply because she is so useful in so many ways. I would have rather seen some better troop skills for a hero that made this list, but riders are a very popular troop specialization, and I know that almost everybody uses Fox religiously in almost every hero lineup. That is why she is the second best hero in puzzles and survival. And of course, feel free to argue with me about that in the comments section below. So who made the top of the list? Out of all the 5-star heroes, who is the best hero of puzzles and survival? This may come as a shock for you. It definitely technically came as a shock for me, but based upon the way that I evaluated this, I had to come up with one answer and one answer only: Agent X. Agent X is hands down the best hero of puzzles and survival, and highly debatable position, I'm sure. Many of you may not have even put her in your top 5 or top 10, but that's because you don't truly understand the power of Agent X. She is not my favorite hero. I do not use her as much as I need to or could, but let's talk about why she's the best hero. So she has the toxin bomb, and I do recommend reading her backstory. It's actually interesting and kind of explains the toxin bomb. But the toxin bomb plants a bomb on the target. After 4 rounds, the target will take damage equal to 99% of their current hit point, which ignores defense. Now this is dispellable, which means you can get rid of it. So like Fox or Mantis or many other ones that remove debuffs, including Hartwell, can remove this from the enemy. If that happens, then this would be negated. But it prevents the caster, which is Agent X, from gaining rage for 4 rounds, unable to dispel. So while the Toxin Bomb is cooking or ticking down its 4 rounds, Agent X cannot build up more rage. This is basically so that you can't just stack toxin bombs on every hero by just keeping her rage full. One dies, another one goes. You have to build her up. This makes her one of the hardest heroes to use effectively. So why is she on the list? Why is she number 1? Well, because of the toxin bomb, and because of some of these other factors. She has the enhanced active skill to reduce the target's rage regen rate by 50%. She is going to slow them down while they're dying. This is a huge benefit in especially Arena and Ultimate Challenge predominantly. The telepathy at the start of the battle increases all Avid-style allies' rage regen rate by 10%, unable to dispel. So when she is in a group of purple heroes, Avid-type heroes, everyone is going to benefit from having her there, which if you may or may not know, Ultimate Challenge 250 is all purple heroes. Her cybernetic upgrade makes she becomes immune to poison and ignite. So, this is important, and of course, once she gets up high enough, increases block rate by 30%. She is not a super strong character, except for the fact that her skill is absolutely devastating. Why does she make the top of the list? Her troop skills are really important. Her rally size is huge. Heal steal cost down, which isn't that big of a deal, but gathering march speed goes up. That's helpful, not necessarily game changing. So again, why did she make the list? The reason she made the list as the best hero of puzzles and survival is that once your state's old enough, you can get her. She is time released, and that's one of the only downsides. But once you have unlocked Agent X at +0, she is instantaneously as effective then as she is at any other enhancement level. Now, you do want to enhance her, you do want to level her up to get her hit points up, her attack and defense up, but even at +0, Toxin Bomb works the exact same way at +8. So, because she is so powerful, and she is very useful if you can use her correctly, this is why she is the top best hero of puzzles and survival. You might think it's counterproductive to have a hero so low level and considered the best in the game, but the reality is that it is because she can be not leveled up and still be one of the strongest heroes. That is her claim to fame. Get her to +1 or +2 and let her ride until the end of the game, until you have no other heroes to upgrade, and she is going to do very well for you, at least until you get to Ultimate Challenge 250. And that is another reason she did make the list. She is absolutely essential for so many levels of Ultimate Challenge. If you don't have her, you are going to struggle and struggle and struggle with almost every in-between level of Ultimate Challenge. So you have to have her, but you only have to have her at +0 to beat some of these levels. So for instance, 244, you can use any heroes, as you can see here, including purple. And look at the clear stage lineup, Agent X everywhere. And that is going to be the case for a lot of these, Agent X, Agent X, Agent X. And once you get high enough up, I implore you to go down and look, and you're going to see Agent X everywhere. If Agent X is in every clear stage lineup, doesn't that say enough? Agent X, Agent X, Agent X. And look at her level, +2, +2. A few people do have her leveled up, and that's great. 239, Agent X. And there are some that aren't Agent X, and that's okay too. So, that being said, Agent X is your best hero of puzzle and survival. Feel free to debate me in the comments section below. Don't forget to join my Discord server, and you can tell me how wrong I am on all my hero selection choices, and I'll be happy to defend them. Like the video if it helps, subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and as always guys, thanks for watching.